Hello, today is a special day for all Thai people because it's our King's birthday. So happy birthday to our King, and we all love our King, and I hope you love your Queen as much as Thai people love their King, and that's a lot. And today's topic, there are two topics of the day. The first one is taken advantage or being taken advantage of, and the second topic is taking and accepting rejection from your Queen sometimes, and how you react to rejection. I'm going to start with the second topic first. Now, a few days ago, you submitted your test answers, and they were right. They were correct according to all the teachings that you have heard in the lectures. Yet, you get a reply saying that you failed and that you need to do the test again because it wasn't creative enough. That is a rejection, that is criticism. Now, what was the reaction? Common reaction was to defend oneself. And that is very human, very obvious, but you got to live with the idea that people, and especially women, sometimes they will reject you, and it will not be a logical rejection at all. It all makes sense the way you did it, and of course it does. That's where the logic is. But you see, creatures like us are not always logical, and sometimes the rejection might be done for a totally different reason, not because your answers weren't good enough, but well, in my case it was to introduce you to the feeling of rejection and the feeling of confusion caused by rejection and caused by criticism. And I love to criticize my knights because I think that's a good way to learn and to get used to the fact that not everything you do will be accepted. Now, what do I expect from you? What kind of reaction? You did everything right, you submit the test, you're sure it's 100% right test, you get a reply, failed. Why? I did everything wrong, I listened to every single lecture, and I did this and I did that. Is that the right approach? No. Now, if you can't find a logical explanation, don't look for it, it's not there. It's very simple as that. Because sometimes she rejects you because she feels like rejecting you. You don't see why. You will never see why. But you have to deal with it, and sometimes it happens. And I can't explain why, because there is no logical explanation. And you would have noticed in the past, when women do certain things, you really can't find logic in their doings and why they did that, and it's really above your understanding. And don't try to understand, just accept. What's the right way to react to rejection like that, or criticism of something that she asked for, and perhaps what she got and now she doesn't want it anymore, she doesn't like it. She asked you for one thing and you did it perfectly, you think, and now she says, no, that's wrong, I don't want that. Okay, let's not defend myself, let's ask her, okay, what would you like me to do now? Well, that's a different approach. And she's all in a good mood again, she's not getting all critical and blaming you for this or that. It's just a matter of you accepting her criticism and accepting her rejection. Let's move on to the second topic. You said that somebody in the past has taken advantage of you. And the phrase in itself, it means that somebody did something and then did not answer your expectations, did not pay back. It means you're calculating and expecting something back, right? And there are two reasons they were not honest with you. Say there's a mistress on the internet that you meet, and she's saying, okay, I will be your mistress from now on. You just need to pay me up front $500, and I will have a session with you half an hour a day. Every day you pay the $500 and she's gone. Was that her taking advantage of you? You must say, oh, of course, yes. No, it wasn't. It was you not thinking properly and not reading her thoughts, so to say. Well, you can't read her thoughts, but you can follow a pattern of, if you send the money up front and she promised to do something for it, and you don't know that person, you don't know their background, you don't know their morals, it would be very silly to expect that she would actually stick to her promise if it's not doing anything for her. She already got everything back, and it's a simple business transaction. You've paid, she's gone. It's not her taking advantage of you, it's you being stupid and gullible when you shouldn't be, with people who you shouldn't be. Now, if you trust somebody and you've built trust with them, and you know them for a while, you know what they do, and you know how they do it, then it's okay to trust them. But it's also okay to trust somebody you meet for the first time, but then don't say that they have taken advantage of you. It's a risk of putting your trust into that person, and if they come back cheating on you, then it's the way it is. It's your trust did not really work this time. It was a mistake, but next time you know better not to do it. And that was a very simple online example. Now, in real life, when you say somebody has been taking advantage of you, perhaps some woman who's been saying that, I don't know, she is your girlfriend and blah blah blah, and let you buy her this and buy her that and take care of her, and then she just leaves you for another guy. Is that taking advantage of you, or is that you not being able to feel what she's really about and if she's honest with you? Or is that you expecting her for this payment that you make to be loyal to you no matter what you do for all her life and all your life? And a lot of men, they say they do these gestures of generosity and taking care of their woman without really telling the woman that they expect something back for it. And expectation, it will never lead you to something really satisfying, I think, because it is only your expectation, not the other person's view of the situation at all. You know, guys, you start dating a guy and he buys you flowers and a present and a more expensive present, and you know, you go somewhere, he pays for a trip maybe, and you think, oh, that's really nice, and then suddenly you don't feel that interested in that person anymore, so you drift apart. And then he goes around telling his friends that he's been taken advantage of. Have you met people like that? Have you heard about people like that? Are you that person? Or maybe that happened with a woman. But somehow, often it happens with the man investing and not getting the returns that he expects. But she is not aware of the returns. He doesn't tell her that I'm going to give you this back, but in return I expect 5 years of loyal girlfriend service. And that's, as stupid as it might sound, a lot of men, when they give, they calculate and they have a list of what they invest and what they should get back, and what goes without saying, that she should be loyal and now they're forever together and so on. That's where I've been taken advantage of. I've been taken advantage of by this bitch who just used me. That's terrible. Well, if she used you, she didn't come and find you and, tortured you until you give her all your money or all your time or whatever else you think you've been used for. You gave it to her. If you give it to her willingly, and it's very unlikely that you give it to her unwillingly, then it's not her taking advantage of you, it's a normal act of giving. But the problem is in your expectations, and that your expectations are not communicated correctly. You see, if one goes out and buys a prostitute, he's saying, well, I will pay you $100 if you spend an hour with me, or 2 hours, I don't know. And she's saying, okay, that's a deal. But if a guy gets a girlfriend, a partner, and then is saying that, well, darling, I got this present for you today, here you go, and then the next week she doesn't really feel like dating him anymore, and he feels used and taken advantage of. Do you see the difference? That it's not really, when gifts and anything that you give, your time, your effort, scrubbing the floors for her, writing poems to her, you don't need to calculate, because calculation creates expectations. You expect your results on your investment back, and she is not aware of it. And that's why later you have this bad feeling of being treated not in the right way by your standards, because you've invested a lot and you got nothing back. So when you send me an email, say, that's also a good example, and you didn't get a reply back, you think, no, that's not fair. I sent an email of a page long and I didn't get anything back, but I got 2 lines back, like, oh well, homework well done. That's really not fair. I've invested, where's my return on the investment? I've been taken advantage of, I've put my heart into the email and got very little in return. And now you write to your queen that you want to quit because you're not getting enough and you're not getting what you expected to get. Again, expectations will not bring you anywhere in life, because expectations are wrong, the wrong feeling, the wrong thing to start with. If you go to the bank with your money, expectations is very appropriate, but in human relationships it should not be there. Give without any calculation. And if you don't feel like giving because you want to calculate, then give to the bank and get your interest back. But don't give to people if you really feel insecure about it. Work on it until you get a feeling that you want to give without expectations of getting anything back. And this does not only go for your slave-mistress relationship. Honestly, I can't think of many things that I want from you at the moment, or I want from anybody, because it's complete. Don't really need much. There's a few things, yeah, that's nice to get, like a bunch of flowers perhaps, but it's not something that I need and I can't live without, and it's not something really expensive that, you know, a person would really feel like they've been taken advantage of for giving flowers and things like that. I'm saying this for your sake, because one too many people write to me that, you know, you're a real mistress, I'm really happy to be serving you, but you know what, in the past I had this mistress and she really used me and took advantage of me. She didn't take advantage of you, she was just another person acting on, well, according to her morals and her standards, and you are a fool because you were fooled by her, because you expected something according to your morals and your standards, and think that every person should keep their promise if they said that, you know, they would do this or that for you, or it is obvious that if a guy gives you a golden ring that you should be loyal to him for the rest of your life. It's not. It's just a golden ring, and the guy gives it to you because he feels like giving it to you. You're not obliged to do anything in return for it. And many women react to gifts sadly, in the way that, it's more like, it's a burden. Now I have to be committed to him because he gave me this or that, so he did this and that for me. I don't feel that way at all. And I hope that you understand this very important point of not expecting and not being taken advantage of. See you tomorrow.